Good morning and a warm welcome to respected Vice Chairman Sir Professor Sadagopan, our esteemed guest Shri Siva Subramanian Ramann, Mr. Harsh Juneja, faculty members and dear students. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome a distinguished guest who has made a remarkable contribution to the financial and administrative landscape of our country. We are delighted to have with us Shri S. Ramann, the Chairman and Managing Director of Small Industries Development Bank of India. Shri Ramann's illustrious career spanning over 3 decades is a testament to his exceptional leadership and expertise. Since April 19, 2021, he has been steering SIDBI towards new heights, fostering the growth and development of small industries across India. His visionary approach and dedication has been instrumental in driving initiatives that empower and uplift the small and medium enterprise sector. Before taking the helm at SIDBI, Shri Ramann served as the Managing Director and CEO of National E-Governance Service Limited from December 2016, where his strategic insights and innovative mindset significantly advanced the e-governance landscape in our country. His tenure as the Principal Accountant General in Jharkhand, Ranchi, and his significant role as the Securities and Exchange Board of India further highlights his profound impact on financial regulations and audit. Shri Ramann's diverse experience under the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, including his service as the Executive Secretary to the CAG, has showcased his adeptness in leadership and administration. His international experience as the first Secretary at the Indian High Commission in London, auditing the accounts of various Indian embassies in Europe, adds a global dimension to his extensive portfolio. An alumnus of St. Stephen's College with a BA in Economic Honours, Shri Ramann furthered his academic pursuits with an MBA from FMS Delhi and MSc in Regulations from London School of Economics, a certification as an internal auditor from IA, Florida, and LLB from Mumbai University, and a postgraduate diploma in securities law. His robust academic background underpins his extensive practical experience, marking him a luminary in his field. Today, we are honored to have Shri Ramann with us. His vast knowledge, experience, and insights are invaluable, and we are eager to hear from him. Please join me in extending a warm and enthusiastic welcome to Shri S. Ramann. Now I request our esteemed Harsh sir and our esteemed Vice Chairman sir to please felicitate our esteemed guests with a bouquet of flowers.
So a trip's quality starts at phase 1. So you don't get such flowers in many parts of Delhi. That is special about trips. Thank you. So, just not one more bouquet, one of these kinds of bouquet.
Now may I request sir, please take the dice.
So to my, I'm comfortable. Yeah. So to my esteemed colleague and mentor, Professor Sadagopan, to the Chairman and the Vice Chairman and the Professor of Practice at your esteemed institution. It's certainly been transporting me back to a different era. So I don't think I have stood in front of students for a very long time. I must say the first impression when I walked in here was that it does not look as if it's a new institution. It seems as if this institution has been there for many decades. You are blessed to have a beautiful institution located so well in Delhi. And I think in the few 10-15 minutes that I was chatting with your top management, I think the thoughts and vision that they have is really what will make this university, I mean, it's I'm sure going to become a deemed university very soon, as they were telling me. And this will give a stamp of a very new identity. And I think that is really what excites me also, after having spent so many years. So I think I started my professional career in 1989 after, my MBA at FMS. And then, of course, the journeys, as you have heard, are sort of more in the civil service and then, interestingly, more in the financial sector rather than in the core business of government. So, I just want to make a very quick mention that you don't know what's lying in store for you. But be clear about what excites you. So I still remember when all of us were, sort of hankering for some job or the other at the end of the MBA. I myself was not too sure what I wanted to do. So I just went along with the crowd and, took up a sales and marketing job, got thrown into Bihar and the Northeast for the next 9 to 12 months. At the end of which, I decided that if I want to do something for the future of this country, then I should probably be within the government and not be outside government and keep criticizing the country. So that was, I still remember probably that idealism that was there in me, and I still think today I carry a bit of that idealism within myself even today. But it was to try and create something better so that so many more people in our country could possibly have a better existence, a better livelihood. The rule of law should become more and more important. So there are many things which you probably may not think of today as you are studying in a university. But I think the biggest difference between my time, which was now close to 35 years ago or even more, and today, I think all of you have the benefit of a vast amount of information. Your exposure, and I'm sure all your parents must be asking you to put the mobile phone off and not watch so much content, all that must be happening. But it is all that varied content that is available before you. जो आप लोग छुप के देख रहे होंगे, कुछ आपस में पता नहीं कितने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स में आप लोग शामिल होंगे, but all that is information, debate, sharing. It does make many of you much more mature than what probably we were at the age of 19 and 20. And I think that's a great benefit. None of us ever thought that we could do a business because we were never, sort of told that doing business is possible. जो लोग business करते थे, they would only come from a business family and they would do business. So, structures were very much more, rigid. Today, you are in a world where somebody decides that he can serve the need of some 100 people in the locality where you live, whatever that service might be. Some good ideas, he catches hold of another friend and says, let us write some code and let us see whether we can create an app. Now, it is possible that in 10 days' time, you have created something and you have then started experimenting with so many other neighbors of yours that can you use this app. So I'm saying the world has changed drastically. The knowledge that you are getting today in a classroom is essential. It's essential for you to study subjects. Again, my only hope is that you study subjects and then you move to some other subject if you don't like the subject one. Now that is the flexibility which the education system is today offering. In our time it was very, very difficult and unheard of that you can switch subjects once you have chosen something. It is so useful for you to be able to be in a university where there is a professor called a professor of practice. Now, it's something new to me also, in spite of all the, travel that I've done, the exposure that I've had internationally. But a professor of practice is somebody who can tell you what is the real life, what is it to do business. Believe me, not difficult, easy to do business. I don't know whether आप में से कोई भी है जो आज के दिन पे कुछ भी बिजनेस में आप लोग का कुछ हिस्सा है क्या? Could be family business, could be something you have done yourself. Does anybody in the room come from somewhere as a business family or involved in business? आप एक हैं, और कोई? आपका क्या? What is it that you are doing? Dye manufacturing. Now, whatever I understand of dye manufacturing, it's a very, very intensive business. It's a very environmentally sensitive business. Dye manufacturing will have many different laws which are environmentally vulnerable. You have a list of compliances that you have to give to an authority saying, my business of making dyes is not polluting. Now, that itself is a very big education. The moment you get into any part of doing a business, you are talking about buying and selling, and therefore you are negotiating with somebody ki I will buy it at 100 rupees, that person will say no, 150 rupees, and then you strike a bargain. That itself is a great learning. It is something which I think as universities and as educational institutions, if we can provide more of the real world to come into the classroom, it will prepare you that much better and help you think about your ideas better. None of what I am saying means ki all of you should only do business. No, not at all. If you want to sit for the UPSC exam, please do. If you want to do an MBA, please do. But I'm just saying the choices and the opportunities that lie before you are so many more. And that is really what is important. When Professor Sadagopan was on the board of a new company that we started called NESL, National E-Governance Services Limited, I'm sure none of you would even have heard of it, but it is a service for the banking sector where banks today can do their loan contracts or the opening of accounts, savings banks accounts, without any paper on a platform where the individual who is opening an account or getting a loan and the bank, they can transact on a piece of paper, get the stamping done fully digitally, sign fully digitally. There is no paper involved in the contract. Now, this is a revolution. Slowly, the banking sector over the last 5 years, since this product came out somewhere in 2018 or 19 more like it, people have slowly started using it. It takes years for banks to move from one process that they are doing to another new process, even though the new process is beneficial, saves them money, but it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort to just handhold people who are very educated, who understand everything. But you have to encourage them that please change your process. It is in the long run beneficial. Now, I'm just saying this because Professor used to tell us in the initial stages that stick to a particular service, make sure that from a technology point of view, you are providing the best service to your client. So what it really taught us, whatever you are doing, if your customer is in mind, you will get it right. Because at the end of the day, if you're thinking about your user and what is their requirement, your product or service will get used by that person. You don't have to worry so much about what is the cost that you are charging him. That is something which comes later. But if he uses it and then again repeats his usage, you know that a customer is now liking what you have provided. Now, it is a very simple thing to say, but when you talk about a large cross-section of society, your worry is that how many customers are repeating. And that repeat customer is an indication of whether you're on the right track or not. It is so important for all of us to be able to bring technology into what we are doing for the simple reason that technology gives scale. So if you're not interested in serving thousands of people, maybe you don't need technology. That's completely fine. Maybe you have a service where you are doing a counseling service and you are meeting your people face to face. You are seeing, 100 patients over a period of 1 month or 2 months. Maybe you don't need technology. But the moment we are talking about giving services to a wide scale, you need technology. Let me ask, what is the one single big impactful service you think has happened in our country in the last 5 to 6 years? Let me understand your thinking. Anybody can give a guess. There's no right or wrong answer in this. The one thing you think in your mind, which is a very big, impactful thing that has happened in our country. Sorry, I didn't get that.
So we did not have that much of it.
Right. Yeah, internet was there 20 years ago also. It wasn't cheap, correct? And who made it cheap? Correct. So somewhere, when Jio said that for 6 months we'll give it free, at that point of time it struck me that what Jio is doing is what a government should be doing. So think of it from an institutional point of view, that there is this private company, it's a public limited company, it has shares, you can buy the shares of that company, but it is a for-profit entity. But it has gone and told the entire country that please use my service for free. I think it is one of the biggest announcements and the biggest impact that our country saw, because suddenly people started using it, after which they could not stop using it. So even when Jio started charging for it, everybody was still hooked onto it. So from a visionary point of view, from a pure marketing and a product promotion point of view, isn't it one of the smartest moves that at least I thought it was a brilliant move for somebody to say that here, please use this for free. After that, whether you pay or not, we'll see. But I'm pretty sure that at least 80% of the people will continue to pay for it. But yeah, I think the payments system that we have in our country is probably the one largest impact across the nation, down from the village to the city, where I have gone in to small villages and I've seen that people have a QR code to receive payments from their customers. This is truly a revolution. It came on the back of something called Aadhaar, but it took much more than government to make this revolution happen. So what I'm trying to sort of communicate to you is that government is not going to be able to do things only by itself. We all lived in an era, you did not, but all of us on this side of the table have lived in an era where government was the only provider for many essential services. From a plane to a train to a telephone to a car to a scooter, it was only government that provided. And we know it is not the right way for development of an economy. But when it came to Aadhaar, government brought in the best of the intellect which knew how to run a technology program at scale. So government invited Mr. Nandan Nilekani and said, please run this project for us. He brought his team. He also brought some people from government, but he ran this as a project as anybody would do in a private sector setting. But Aadhaar did not lead to payment. The payment happened many years later. So if Aadhaar happened somewhere in 2008, 9, 10, the payments actually happened from probably starting 13, 14, 15 onwards. So remember, it takes a long time for new methods to get adopted, for people to start using. I remember maybe we were, using it from our bank. The bank said, yes, you can do internet payments. So we would do internet bank-to-bank payment. But UPI was something that came much later and came only because of the private sector. So I'm just saying it is a brilliant experiment where government provides the rails and the private sector provides a service on top of the rails. And it is this ability to provide to the customer, which is where the private sector does things many times more efficiently at a lower cost, thereby allowing for this UPI to actually be given free. Of course, the banking world is not very happy about it, but nevertheless, the fact that together the government and the private sector has provided a facility, the private sector has realized that we don't have to charge for the payment service, but we will make our money from ad revenue and from various other ways where we have customer data, and that customer data can be anonymized and can be utilized for marketing of various other companies. So it is really about the new way of thinking. And that is what I think today is the true benefit that all of you would get in an education institution, is a new way of thinking, a new way of approaching the problems that are around you. So I would really say, take it as a challenge where you think of something where many people have a need, but that need has not got fulfilled. And see whether you can meet that need. This whole business of providing services of carpenter, plumber, driver at your home. So today, if I have a car and my driver is not there, I can actually ring up and call for a driver who will come for 3 or 4 hours, drive my car, and I will pay him something. But the ease of doing it, it happens in 5 minutes or less. That I have somebody on my doorstep who is saying yes, and he is verified, he is, checked for some basic parameters that yes, this person doesn't have a criminal record. Now there are many things that go behind providing that service. So, there are many needs that we all have which can get satisfied in a different way. And I think that is really where we're talking about making small businesses work. I have seen how small businesses work in our country. They are all starved for low-cost funds, which is a banking problem. Today, the banks do not give money to small businesses at 10% interest, but give it at 20% interest. Now, the small business does not make too much money, plus he's got a higher rate of interest. Whereas Tata Motors gets money at 8%, he's anyway very profitable. So, there's no right or wrong in this. The banks are doing it because they know Tata Motors will pay them back. They're not sure whether our friend here will take money and pay it back. This is the problem to be solved. This is one of the largest problems, because in India, we have 10 crore people all doing small businesses across the country, and they are not getting money to be able to run their businesses. So this is a problem which any of you and all of you can try and put your ideas together. I'll be happy to receive those ideas. So I thought, let me just sort of hear from all of you if there are any questions. I mean, I have given you a little bit of what I thought was useful for you, but I'm happy to take any questions from anybody.
I think you guys are fortunate to hear Mr. Ramann, being in chairman, managing director. He shared his experience, with you, and also excited you that tomorrow if you require, any kind of help, or he's given scores of loans to the startups, scores of them, right? I'll be wrong by saying thousands of them, or maybe millions of them to the startup. So in case ever you have an idea and he's given it, you can always put that across. And I take it back to my days. He mentioned about the Geo giving free phones, right? And I was in telecommunication at that point of time, and we were thinking, this because they've come in and I think they're making losses. They're going to be killed themselves. And look what happened. So the strategy, or we call it a marketing strategy, it really, we in the telecommunication side could not figure out what their intent was of Geo at that point of time, and they were giving it free. So anything can work. So thank you so much for, I think, guiding us and giving us any questions, or welcome, please.
It's a wonderful opportunity, students. Please try and interact so that you at least get to think beyond what you already have as a lens.
How many of you have read today's Education Times? Today's Education Times. Okay, are you aware about today's Education Times news, right? Today's news. It says that there are two news, right? I always am very fond because I'm learning education. Myself being a professor of practice, I know about the industry, but I don't know much about the education side. And we have professors who are giving me, that kind of learning. Two things. One, only engineering may not help. You need to have skill on top of that. That's the first message, right? It has come in today's newspaper. In the second, they've given the toppers on the civil services are engineers. So engineers are the topmost. So 59%, if I'm not wrong, that figure, are engineers in the top side of the civil services. And you see, the civil service. I thought that let me share that point, with you guys. So you have another sector open, okay? Anyone who's aspiring to be a civil servant after doing the engineering? Any one of you? I can only see smiles. I cannot see yes or no. I don't understand. So either say yes or say no. No. Why? Okay. So I don't want to ask why no. It's all your choice. But that's another career. So why so many engineers are the top scorer and they are becoming the IA&AS as well. Okay, so over to you.
No question? No, this is not right. You have to ask question. Come. See, I tell you, don't follow, I think it is good. We professors tell you a lot of things and we actually tell you. But certain things we tell you, don't follow. Don't be like what we were. 50 years back, I was in your place. So we were hesitant in here. But today, you are all confident in here. You should shoot question. And remember, there is nothing called stupid question. All questions are great questions. Please. Now, my friend will feel disappointed if there are no questions. Yes, make it fast. 3 questions, real fast. Yes, that's good. Please go ahead.
The topic, but engineers, like are supposed to be engineers and come out from engineering background or something like that. This was the question in Drishti IA&AS, one of the like the boarding member. they asked one aspirant that you did engineering, in particular chemical engineer. She was Shrishti Deshmukh. She did chemical engineering, and they asked her that why did you waste an engineering seat and then you switched to civil servant exam. So I would like to question ki, like, is it important, or like, isn't this question is necessary to ask that you did waste a seat, an engineer could have been born, or he has done something else in this whatever seat you have chosen, or and then you switched your stream. So what do you have to say about
Good question. Very good question. Anybody else who agrees with that line of thought? Let me say, how many people think that it is a waste of an engineering seat if somebody takes the civil service exam and becomes a bureaucrat? How many of you think it's a waste? That it's a waste of a seat? Huh. So, what I would really, ask you to think about is, what value are you adding? That is really all you need to think about. You can add value providing, as we typically say, some FMCG product to people who are not today getting that kind of a good product. Maybe they're sitting in some villages where they don't get proper soap, they don't get proper, towels, they don't get proper food. There could be a variety of things that people are not getting, which some company says, yes, it is profitable for me to provide that goods or service to such a person, and I will satisfy their need, I will give them something superior, and in the bargain, I will also make money so that I can provide more services to more people. Now, when an engineer, having done engineering, he's probably looking at getting a job in some company. He's also saying, okay, let me study for 2 years and take the UPSC and take the civil service exam. And if he gets in, I think it's just about the same of adding value, whether you're in a company or whether you're in the civil service. The civil service has a slight advantage that the value addition that you can make goes across a much wider set of people. But for me, that's really the, only big advantage, because in every job there are ups and downs. In whichever job you do, you will have problems. You may not like your boss, you may not like the work. The one benefit you have in a private company is you can leave the company and join another. In the civil service, it is very difficult sometimes to leave the civil service, though a lot of people are nowadays even doing that, and they find that there are other attractive opportunities. Now, you could say that you have wasted government money by joining civil service and then leaving it. So there is nothing called waste. It is really about all of you adding value in your situation to the best of your own abilities.
I think he has brilliantly answered it, so I will not try to explain or answer it in the same way. But I will give an example for you to look at. Okay? You have a phone with you? Okay. You can find out Ashwini Kumar Vaishnav. Can you make out what it is? Okay, he happens to be the Railway Minister of India, Telecom Minister of India. And during the bad railway accident, for 72 hours, he was personally supervising the rescue operation. And he has introduced so many Vande Bharat trains. And then he has also done a startup policy. He is actually looking at the AI policy. He is actually getting legislation for the data protection law. Has he contributed? He is an IAS officer, by the way. He is a minister, IAS officer. I happen to have the privilege of being his MTech thesis supervisor. I still have his MTech thesis where he has acknowledged not only me, my wife also, because he used to come home for coffee. IIT Kanpur. So I have given you, so you decide. Thank you. We have 2 more questions, real quick, 60 seconds. Yeah. Please. Make it fast. Make it fast. So can I declare that one question is equivalent to 3 questions? Make it fast. Anybody? So in a lighter vein, you see, only the girls seem to have the. No boys are asked to ask a question. At least one boy should ask a question. Yes. Make it fast. Yes. You are chosen. You will ask the question. Please. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So, sir, in the business sector, you definitely meet a wide variety of people. So, over a lot of time, does it lead to assume that a person is in the deal definitely for only profit, or does he have a different motive in mind?
Yeah, so I'm just asking you a question first. That is profit a good motive or a bad motive?
It is definitely a good motive in the business sector, of course. But some people can also have different motives of their own. So how do you get to know if the person is only in for the profit, or does he want something else too?
So I think it's an excellent point, and I would even go beyond the business sector. So creation of wealth is always good. Let us first take that as a given. If you don't create wealth, you cannot distribute anything. So the concept of distributing poverty does not exist. So in a business deal, if I am approaching a business deal for my benefit, my personal benefit or that of my company or that of my government, it's completely valid. The other person who comes to the table is equally looking at his benefit. Now, he perceives his benefit in a slightly different way than you do. He may have multiple different things to think of. I may have other things. So, there are funds which Bill Gates, Azim Premji, etc., they have funds with them in what they call as foundations. This is given as grants for various projects. Believe me, they are not giving it for free. They are giving it because they need some objective to be met. He has an objective to meet. When I take his money as SIDBI, I am using that money and reducing the cost of interest to my final borrower, and I am reducing my pricing by using his money because he only wants a 4% interest. I am getting a 10% interest. So I am willing to now reduce that interest from 10 to 8. The businessman here who gets the money from SIDBI is benefiting. So to clearly ask, to answer your point, it is profit and profit alone that you must look at in a deal. Because that is the only way you add value to your business. How you want to distribute that value. You may give free education to all your employees' children. That is a separate decision. But you could not have taken that decision if you did not have profit. So I hope that sort of...
Maybe also keep this in mind. A lot of times we kind of get mixed up. So when somebody is making only profit alone and people kind of look down on it, maybe what happens is, if for generating profit, you also doing unethical practices. You sell a spurious drug and make lots of money. But if you make a drug which actually is genuine, which reduces pain for people, and in the process make lots of money, it's perfectly fine. Okay? So ensure that fair means are followed. See, don't look down on profit per se, but you look down on unethical practices. But otherwise, profit is important. Which would not have happened if somebody has not created surplus. And we all would not be sitting here and being able to talk. We would not have been able to invite him, etc. So everything needs money. Okay, so I think unfortunately, somewhere along we got little bit lost in the country. We started kind of looking down on profit by itself. We look down on private sector. We started with the assumption private sector is bad. There is nothing like that. Public sector can be equally bad, right? But I think we have to ensure that ethical practices are followed. That is the key. If you are patient, things happen. I was patient, so things happen.
Sir, as you said that just the engineering degree is not enough, you also need skills. But nowadays there are a lot of people with the skills also. So how do we shine in between those people?
So you're saying there are genuine degrees but more than that, you also need skills.
Sir, we need the degree, then we also need skills.
Correct.
But let's say I have some skills, but there might be 10 more people in this very room that have the same skill set. So how do I, shine out from them? How do I tell the recruiter?
So one, I think Professor Sir gave a answer which I will apply not only to this situation but for your full life: patience. It is a very, very important quality that we must never forget. So again, there are 5 colleagues of mine who are all from the same institute. We've done the same degree. We joined the same company, but the trajectory of each one of those persons may be very different. Now, you are asking yourself that I am the topper over here, but my colleague who did not attend classes is now going ahead and doing better in the company. Very possible. So, you constantly have to ask yourself that what is your goal and are you working towards your goal? So, a skill is something that you are learning, and engineering is a skill. You are being taught how to do whatever it may be, whether it's mechanical or civil or electronics. There is a variety of skills that are coming to you. Now, how you apply that skill in the real world, that transition is a very, very critical one. If you want to remain completely with your bookish knowledge and you're saying, okay, I will not learn from what is happening on the ground, that is one way of looking at it. Again, as he says, another person might end up doing unethical things and go ahead very fast. You don't want to. Don't worry. Why are you comparing yourself with somebody else? So we all do it. Even today I do it. I compare myself with other people, saying that he has gone ahead. So it's human nature. But you need to be clear that yes, I want to achieve this goal. Maybe I need to get one more skill. Keep skilling yourself. I mean, I have done degrees much later in life because I felt that it was something very useful. When I was in SIDBI, I was using the law. I never had dealt with the law earlier. So I ended up getting an LLB for myself because I thought it's a great additional skill to have. So I did it, when I was 42 years old. Now, that is really the point where you have to keep testing yourself, asking yourself that am I sufficiently skilled for where I want to go to?
I'll again give an example. Sometimes, these examples communicate much better. And also, not that I have any intention to brag. In the process, I'm actually bragging. Okay. So, one of my former students happens to be running, he is the chief executive officer of the largest software company in this country. You know which is the largest software company in this country? TCS. It has only 619,000 staff. 619,000 people work for TCS. So the chief executive happens to be my student. So interesting, 32 years back when he joined, lots of his classmates, Microsoft is coming, Google is coming, Facebook is coming. So, they offer better salaries, they are fancy, you can work in America. He was actually working in, most of his career he was in Chennai, happens to be my town and his hometown. He did not even move to Bombay. But he got picked up as a chief executive officer. Right? The reason is
Excellence. One word summarizes everything in life. Pursuit of excellence will always reward you back, hands down. But it is important. Okay, if you want to pursue more skills, it is fine. But you have the skills and you say that, look, my skills which I have, I am better than anybody on this planet. You will be rewarded. But be sure, or you decide, no, I am going to have 3 skills, it's fine. But pursue each one of them well. So don't kind of do what is called marginal justice to many of them. Okay, so today I do something, tomorrow I do something, something will work. No. Whatever you do, you actually have to do excellence. Pursue excellence, you will be rewarded. And then 10 years later, 20 years later, keep telling me what are the great things you are doing. We'll be in touch. And all of you in this room will continue to remember. What's your name?
Sagar Dabas. Sagar Dabas.
Praveen. Okay, so you will be remembered by everybody, and then you keep telling us the exciting things you do. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
So that was the last question, but I think this gives me an opportunity, because you said X person has got the same degree, Y person has got the same degree, X person has got the same skill, Y person has got the same skill, yet X rises and Y does not rise. Why? That's what I think was there. So I want to add, just one thing. Having worked for about 36 years in the corporate world, we used to do one analysis, because we get some challenges, like we had in Tata 10,000 people. So if 10,000 people have to be rated, so we used to do skill-will analysis. It is called skill-will analysis. So every manager would do a skill-will analysis for his set of people. The only thing I want to emphasize here to you guys, youngsters, is it's very easy to acquire the degree. It's very easy to acquire, the skill. Skill means the course. You attend a course. But what you grasp, are you willingly doing it? Or are you dropping the ball? Are you doing it just for, saying that, okay, I have to do this course and I do it? Yes, sir, I have it. If you have that attitude, yes, sir, I have it. Think there is a better way. When I addressed to some of your students in the AI/ML batch, I gave one theory, I said AI/ML, right? AI/ML, maybe for you it is artificial intelligence and machine learning. But for me, AI is my areas of improvement. And always there are areas of improvement if you start thinking and seriously looking inside out. The moment you are able to find AI, then it is ML, which is my learning, not machine learning. And if you have this approach of AI/ML encroached and injected into your blood, that's where you win over the others. Yes, sir, we have it, and we do not drop, the ball. So thank you very much, sir, for your this thing. May I request Professor Shivanka to get this, and I'm requesting Madam to kindly, give as a token of appreciation from us. I'm requesting Madam to give, that gift. It's a beautiful lotus and from the technical campus. A big hand for Ramann sir. Thank you very much for your coming, sir. Thank you very much.
It's my honor to extend our heartfelt thanks to Sri S. Ramann, Chairman and Managing Director of SIDBI, for his insightful and inspiring words. We cherish the words of wisdom and are grateful to you for investing your valuable time onto us. We look forward to such more interactions and learnings in future. We also thank Professor Sadagopan for his insights and anecdotes, and your stories are always inspiring, and I'm very sure that students will always feel encouraged by your presence. A special thanks to our Vice Chairman, sir, faculty members, and our entire team for making this event a success. Thank you all. Thank you, students, for your presence. Thank you for being such a... Thank you to the students for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you for the great questions. And good luck for your exams.